So Nintendo just did the worst thing I think I've ever seen them do. My name is Sayran, and usually I like playing games, not just talking about them, but we can't not talk about this. This is an official statement from Nintendo talking about the Nintendo Switch pricing update, saying that starting August 3rd, that the price is going to change due to market conditions. We have clarification that it's not just Switch 1 price increases, it is the Switch 2 accessories, select amiibo, the alarm clock for some reason, and all that stuff will see a price adjustment. In fact, Target is already displaying the price change, with the Switch OLED being $399, the non-Switch OLED being $339, and the Switch Lite being $229. And here are the original prices that they were like yesterday. Also, the Alarmo is up $10 and the Joy-Con 2 is up $5 because yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Angry Guy channel. Big news today. On August 3rd, 2025, Nintendo is officially raising the prices of the original Switch family. That's Switch, Switch Lite, and OLED model, plus many accessories, amiibo, and the sound clock in the US. The Switch 2 console and games are not affected yet. Let's dive into exactly what's happening, why it's so controversial, and how the internet is reacting. We also have a video from Oh It's Not Alex, and his channel will be linked in the description of the video, so you can go check him out and support his content. And now let's begin.
There's about to be a price increase for all the old Switch accessories and consoles, and I wanted to go over the prices right now, starting with the Nintendo Switch Lite. The Nintendo Switch Lite used to be $199. The new price, no matter what color, as long as it's $199, it's going to now be $230. The OG Switch with the big borders, that's going from $300 to $340, so you're getting a $40 price increase, which is crazy because, you know, that came out in 2017, 2016 kind of. And the OLED, no matter which color, as long as that $349 one, it's going to be $349.99 to $400. Now, Nintendo did say that, hey, you know, this could also happen to, well, it is happening to their special editions. Those are going up $50 to $60. And it could happen to their Nintendo Switch 2s as well, depending on how all of this goes. These price increases do start tomorrow. Some of the Switch 2 accessories have actually been price increased. You already have it. Hey, you're lucky that you bought it. If you already have the Switch 2, you're lucky that you bought it. I would say before the holiday season, when the price increases are going to start.
Yes, the video game industry is in fact getting worse and worse over time. We've been seeing it happen, and the best excuse every single game company is now using is the excuse of market conditions. Oh, yeah, guys, look, listen, we're making record profits. We've sold over 150 million Switch 1s, but the thing is, because of market conditions, we're gonna have to raise the price on 8-year-old hardware. I'm living in bizarro land. We are now at a time where getting a video game console 5 to 7 years after its original release is making the price increase on the console, not decrease how it used to. Yeah, I'm that old. And it's getting to be even more insane because Nintendo has now come out yesterday saying, hey, due to market conditions, we're going to be increasing the price, not on the Switch 2, but on the Switch 1 and on other accessories and onto amiibos. And you know what? Let's just read the statement from what Nintendo had to say in their blog post, because the copium about this thing, with people saying it's going to be a price decrease, literally have no idea what they're talking about. Here we go. Nintendo Switch pricing update. Pricing for the original Nintendo Switch family of systems and products will change in the United States based on market conditions. There's that word we all know and love, isn't it great? Effective August 3rd, 2025, these include Nintendo Switch OLED model, the Nintendo Switch Lite, and select Nintendo Switch accessories. Other Nintendo products, including the Nintendo Switch 2 accessories, select amiibo, and the Nintendo Sound Clock Alarmo will also see adjustments. Pricing for the Switch 2 system, physical and digital Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 games, as well as Nintendo Switch Online memberships, will remain unchanged at this time. However, please note that price adjustments may be necessary in the future. Remember when I talked about this yesterday, how there are in fact Nintendo simps who will go out like Disney adults and buy anything from this company simply because the logo on the box? Well, here's your sign. That's what's happening. Now they're not only going back and they're increasing the price of other select 2 Nintendo Switch products and accessories. No, now they're going and the console that sold 150 million units right now, and basically nobody's going to be going around to buy, they are increasing the cost of it. Yeah, that's what they're doing. Remember that old picture you would see being passed around by all the boomers like myself, whose knees crumble like Rice Krispie treats in the hot summer sun whenever we try to get up out of a chair of a GameCube costing $49? That ship has sailed. The entire industry is trying to use the market conditions blanket term as a direct reason to increase the price.
Nintendo announced that they're raising their prices on everything except for their Switch 2, and the reason is because of fast food. So let's talk about it. About a month ago, Nintendo raised their prices on their products in Canada, and Americans had a great big laugh about it. And now it looks like it's your turn because after this weekend, they're also raising the prices there. But in the announcement, they made clear that they're not raising the prices on Nintendo Online, the Switch 2 console, or some of the Switch 2 games. So why would that be? Now, the obvious reason that everybody's talking about is that the Switch 2 is so new, and it's just about to reach 6 million units sold since launch, so they don't want to stop any momentum that they've been building. But there's a less obvious reason that they're not going to raise the price on the Switch 2 while raising their prices on everything else, and it has to do with psychology and fast food. Have you ever noticed when you go get fast food, there's always a small, medium, and a large? Do you know why that is? It's because of psychology. Because you see, when you have a small and you have a large, the prices are usually pretty big. So somebody decided to put a medium in there so it would be easier to go from the small to the medium so they can make more money, and you could go from the medium to the large even easier because the gap is also small. And I'm venturing a guess that that's exactly what Nintendo's thinking is, because people, although they are enjoying the Switch 2, are not happy that it's expensive as it is. If the Switch 1 is going up in price and it's out of date, well, suddenly the Switch 2 seems like a better bargain, and you might as well just buy that if you're looking for a console. So yeah, after this weekend, the prices in the States are gonna be going up, but I'm also willing to bet that the sales on the Switch 2 are also gonna go up.
They've been dying to do this, mind you. This isn't anything new. They just needed a scapegoat, a reason for you to get mad at something else instead of getting mad at them. And that's how they're going to be parading this around in front of you. We're already seeing people trying to spin this in a political aspect. Oh, this is what you voted for. Orange man bad. This is the reason why you gotta vote the way I feel you gotta vote. Listen, this is not about voting politics. I could give less of a fuck about voting politics, honestly. If you guys watch this channel, you guys know I don't literally care. What I do care about, though, is the fact that these companies are going to be abusing all of these things that are happening, such as the market conditions, in order to increase the cost and price of everything they possibly can. Because the moment these tariffs disappear, the moment these excuses are gone, is the price going to go down? No, it's gonna stay the same or increase again due to other market conditions. So if you're trying to spin this in a political aspect, you are literally being led like sheep into the slaughter. It gets even worse though, because not only are they increasing the cost of Switch 2 accessories, they're now telling you to your face at some point in the future, they're going to increase the price of the Nintendo Switch 2 and its games. You thought $80 in variable pricing was bad enough? No, baby. Get ready for the $99.99 video game coming your way. You can bet your sweet bippy that at some point you're going to see a Mario or a Zelda have that mythical $99.99 price tag, and there's going to be some idiotic clown on the internet being like, I'll take 2 copies, please, because it makes me happy. And we in fact know exactly what the prices are going to be, because according to Nintendo, they even posted the actual pricing for some of the products. Check this out. The Switch 1 Pro controller is increasing in price from $69 nice to $79.99 this weekend, a $10 price increase for a controller that is 8 years old already. They want to increase the cost of that. Why? Because they fucking can. In fact, Wario64 was able to snag some picks from Target and to show exactly what the prices are going to be this weekend. Now, these prices could be different. It could be more, it could be a little bit less, but that price increase is in fact coming. Here's what was shown. The Switch OLED will be $399 from $350. The non-OLED will be $339 from $300. The Switch Lite will be $229 from $200. Alarmo will be $110 from $100. Joy-Con 2 controllers will go from $95 to $100. We're looking at a Switch 1 OLED, a device that is multiple years old already, a system that should have already had its price reduced throughout this time frame, a system that already has aging parts inside of it that are literally just X1 Tegra chip processors that cell phones today can literally destroy on their own accord, and they want to increase the price of it. Even though you can bet your bottom dollar there's going to be Switches sitting in warehouses, but they want to squeeze out every penny they possibly can.
Hey guys, in a world pushing you to own nothing and be happy, crypto is your key to survival. Join Angry's Crypto Academy to master buying, selling, and trading crypto. Make huge profits and safeguard your wealth. Plus, discover the one crypto virtually no one is talking about, poised to create new millionaires in the upcoming bull run. The link is in the description of the video below. Go check it out now. So, what Nintendo officially announced, and it was a very short announcement, but yeah. Nintendo posted a blog stating that pricing for the original Nintendo Switch family of systems and products will change in the United States based on market conditions. Yeah, they use that word a lot. Effective August 3rd, 2025. So what's actually affected? The Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch Lite, Switch OLED, many Switch 1 accessories, some Switch 2 accessories, amiibo figures, and the sound clock, Alarmo. What's unaffected for now? The Switch 2 console, physical and digital games, Nintendo Switch Online memberships. I don't really trust that though, and it's probably going to see a price increase eventually. Nintendo also noted price adjustments may be necessary in the future, at which point even the Switch 2 might get targeted. So don't get too comfortable with the current Switch 2 pricing. It's likely going to go up. Now, in terms of the exact changes that weren't officially confirmed, some leakers have given us some other details as well, or rather solid estimates. So the original Switch is going to increase from $299 to $339 or $340. The Switch OLED, which currently costs $350 or $349.99, is going to be going up to $399.99, and the Switch Lite is going to increase from $199.99 to $229.99. The OLED's increase is pretty darn massive, making it just $50 shy of the Nintendo Switch 2. These price increases have already started being applied at some retailers like Target and Best Buy. And then there were the Canadian price increases, which went into full effect earlier, and it was $20 for the Switch and Switch Lite, and then $40 for the OLED. And that happened just slightly before the changes in the United States. Why is Nintendo doing this? Well, Nintendo cites market conditions, but behind that, analysts point to rising U.S. tariffs on goods imported from Vietnam, China, Japan, now including a 20% tariff on Vietnam, where Switch products shifted after China's tariffs. Similar pricing hikes are rolling out across categories as global trade tensions and inflation squeeze margins. And the Switch 2 stays intact to protect its positive launch momentum, but Nintendo didn't rule out future hikes there either. Now, across Reddit and Twitter, fans have slammed the price increases, especially since the Switch 2 already launched at a premium $449.99 and drew criticism for that launch price. Reddit threads r/gaming notes had this to say: the new prices for Nintendo Switch consoles have all increased by at least $30. Switch $339.99, which is up $40. Former Nintendo marketing leads reportedly warned that the backlash over Switch 2's pricing was a true crisis moment, and fans demanded Nintendo drop the price on stream chat and social media. Wired commentators observed that consumers might view this as Nintendo passing tariff costs onto the buyer rather than absorbing them. What does it all mean for consumers? Well, not necessarily anything good. Those in the market for a Switch 1 should buy before August 3rd to avoid the new prices. Some retailers, Target, Best Buy, still list pre-increased prices but may sell out fast. Collectors, budget gamers, and parents feel the pinch the most, and older hardware / tools that were entry level are now nearly Switch 2 territory in price. Switch 2 remains at $449.99 domestically. That's the launch price, which is unchanged. But with Nintendo warning future price changes could happen, fans are still feeling really uneasy. So, what are some of the broader context and speculation regarding all of this? Well, industry-wide, price increases are happening. Other console makers and electronics brands have gradually bumped prices over the last year due to inflation, logistics, and tariffs. Some analysts speculate Nintendo will offset Switch 2's cost by absorbing tariffs temporarily, while shifting pressure to legacy hardware instead, and may roll back Switch 1 hikes later or repeat them globally. They're probably just going to repeat them globally. Now, in terms of monitoring, will Nintendo eventually raise Switch 2 console cost or game prices? Signs suggest that could happen if tariffs or production costs spike further. So, what are our final thoughts on all of this? To summarize, effective August 3rd, Nintendo is raising prices on the entire original Switch lineup and related accessories, amiibo, sound clock in the US. Switch 2 and games are untouched for now. The move is widely seen as Nintendo passing on tariffs and inflation costs to the consumer. Community backlash is strong. Many fear this sets a precedent for future price increases across Nintendo's products. And that's really what we have to work with for right now. So let me know in the comments, are you still going for the Switch 1 before the price hike, waiting for a sale, or skipping to Switch 2? Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss updates, especially if Nintendo eventually increases Switch 2 or game pricing. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Nothing says you care like crypto. Nothing can compare. Nothing says you care like crypto. Oh, nothing can compare to crypto.